She clasped his arm firmly and allowed him to whisk her into his kitchen, where he had laid out a cold luncheon on the table. "What is this?" "A meal that you didn't have to prepare." She took in the slices of bread and block of cheese, the plate of what looked like ham flanked by 4 oranges. Wait, oranges? Hello again, Philip Batley here, actor and audiobook narrator. We're on to another book. We are on to another of the Maitland Maidens series by Cora Lee. This one is called When I Fall in Love. I've done 3 books so far for Cora Lee. These are sweet Regency romances. I think they can be read in any order, and they are based around the ladies of the Maitland family. Who are not content to let others dictate how their lives should be lived, and they're unconventional heroes. No cliffhangers, particularly in these ones. Happily ever afters. That's the kind of world of romance that we're in here. So this is set in the year 1816, good, solid, absolutely in the middle of the Regency period. But it was an extraordinary year because the year before, I think it was Mount Tambora. I'm using my own knowledge here. Erupted in Indonesia, and the whole world was affected climate-wise. That year, 1815, 1816, crops failed. There was constant rain. In fact, I think it was the year that Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein as a kind of ghost story after being stuck indoors with nothing to do in Lake Geneva with Lord Byron and Percy Shelley, I think. Mary, yeah, but sorry, yes, I'm sorry. She married Percy Shelley. Anyway, that was an extraordinary kind of time, and this book is set in that summer where crops are failing, and our heroine Sylvie is worried about her small holding with her grandparents and her next door neighbour who owns a bit of land, Kit Matheson, who's appeared in one of the other books, a childhood friend of hers. It's the story of their budding romance. So here we go. He's just made her some lunch, it looks like, and with some oranges. Very unusual at the time to have oranges, particularly in the awful climate weather that they've been having at this time. Here we go. Wait, oranges? Where did these come from? She asked, letting go of his arm to pick up an orange and inspect it as closely as she had the kittens. From a friend of mine who keeps an orange tree in his conservatory, Mr. Matheson answered, closing the gap between them again. I thought you might enjoy them. She tilted her head back to meet his blue eyes. They hadn't had much interaction in the 2 years he'd been back, outside of him walking Moses back home. Was he still the boy she'd capered with when they were children? The one who had made a point of continuing their friendship into adolescence, despite the difference in their stations? If not, I'd be happy to eat them all myself, he continued, his baritone voice breaking through her train of thought. She laughed lightly. That sounded like the old Kit. That was very thoughtful of you. Thank you. He handed her a plate and picked one up for himself, pausing when a series of loud bangs filled the room. How do you feel about eating outdoors? Then we won't have to listen to the noise of the builders' men working in the house. She agreed, and after serving herself, followed him outside and across the farm. Where are we going? You'll see. She briefly considered taking his arm again. She craved the feeling of safety and comfort that came with his touch, but couldn't ascertain how to do so while holding an orange and a plate. Instead, she inched closer to him as they walked, taking care not to get so close they would bump into each other, but close enough to detect the scent of hay that clung to his clothing. Here we are. No, I don't like that. Let's do that again. Here we are, he proclaimed, stopping at the edge of a stream. And look! Someone has left a bottle of lemonade here in the cold water. Kit set his food down and pulled a stone bottle out of the cool water, shaking the drops from his hand and holding it out to her. You planned this? There we are. A little bit from When I Fall in Love by Cora Lee, part of the Maitland Maidens Collection. See you soon.